morning to everyone. Professor Inzoli, I just seen Professor Colombo, Secretary General for Press for Africa, Roberto Vigotti, representative for the energy sector, and of course David Otieno, who has just spoken as Secretary General of the AEP. But above all, dear participants, I noticed the long list of participants to so many countries of the northern and southern parts of the African continent. Welcome, bonjour, ceux qui parlent français. Allow me first to congratulate you for a new edition of this Residential Advanced Training course, ATC. This capacity building activity, structured in several sessions and different locations, will provide to the advanced qualified participants from countries in the northern and southern regions of the African continent a comprehensive review and useful information tools on important issues related to renewable energy solutions. It is one more example of Polemi's engagement in offering, with the support of the Italian business sector and Enel's Foundation, is in particular here, its advanced expertise to international cooperation services, as well as in several other technical and scientific fields. The goal of accelerating the pace of renewable energy deployment is part of the mission to be fulfilled by the African-Europe Energy Partnership. You have just heard about that. This platform of dialogue, co-chaired by Italy, is in just a little more than 6 months, has already developed a fruitful cooperation not only with Polimi, as already in the past, but also with the rest of Africa, the new geographic spin-off or Resform. The same objective constitutes a very important task to the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, shared as member of the European Union together with our private sector. Europe. In fact, Europe is promoting partnerships on sustainable energy with its neighbor and developing partners, in particular with African countries, in line with the EU energy diplomacy, the EU climate and diplomacy action plan, and in order to achieve win-win solutions and mutually beneficial cooperation regarding innovation. A very next Joint Council on Environment and Development will adopt next month in Brussels conclusions foreseeing that policy dialogue and joint activities should notably be reinforced in the framework of the Africa-Europe Partnership, in view of the 2017 Africa-EU Summit. It will be in Dakar. It will recognize, I quote, that unlocking Africa's sustainable energy potential and interconnecting Europe and Africa across the Mediterranean implies further increasing the generation capacity, developing cross-border interconnections across Africa and between Africa and the EU, as well as off-grid sustainable energy systems to reduce rural-urban divide in electricity access. It also recognized the need to develop existing and new energy connectivity across Europe and Asia. In that context, the Council will acknowledge the role that gas will play in the foreseeable future to complement renewable energy. This gives you a quite complete picture of the state-of-the-art reflection at the EU level. We remember as well that the EU was the driving force in negotiating the Paris Agreement. The EU ratification accomplished on September 30, 2016, proceeded of a few weeks by the Italian ratification of the Paris Agreement, makes this first ever global legal binding agreement workable. And it entered into force on November 4th, in time for the now ongoing Marrakesh COP22. It is called the African COP. The EU was the driving force in negotiating the Paris Agreement. It is also the founding party to it, following the EU ratification and also the other steps made in making it operate. In this wider European framework, the recent launch of Race of Africa on the 26th and 27th October in Nairobi has already given me the opportunity, during that very successful event, to underline that energy solutions and renewable energy for the African continent are very high in the agenda of the Italian Ministry for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and in the action of the Director General of the Global Affairs, the one I am serving at present. We have all to consider that by 2050, Africa will be home to a population of 2.5 billion, more than twice as today. Let me quickly recall to today's audience some of the previous and the next steps of what can be rightly called an Africa-Italy initiative. 2015, a ministerial level conference on energy under the theme Italy-Africa working together for a sustainable energy future, dedicated to energy as a factor of sustainable development, attended by 32 African countries. 2015, launch of the joint declaration promoted by the European Commission with African countries, with the aim of creating the conditions for a regulatory framework indispensable to the harmonious development of the national energy system. Kenya, Mozambique, Nigeria, Zambia are 4 of the 20 joint declarations promoted by Italy and signed at the COP21 in Paris, and very soon, next Thursday, in Marrakesh. More to have to be signed. 2016, in May, the first Italy-Africa Ministerial Conference in Rome. We brought together government members of over 50 African countries and their representatives to the United Nations in New York, and the leaders of many international and regional organizations in the presence of all Italian institutions. The conference looked at the economic, social, and the environmental tensions surrounding sustainability, and the AEP stakeholder forum in this very polytechnic, David Otieno knows and Manuela Colombo knows as well, was an important preparatory step. 2016, next year, Italy, as entering presidents of the G7 countries, is working on the specialized Africa session at both at the energy and environment ministerial meetings, focusing on issues such as energy security, green energy, finance, and renewables. This is what we have to prepare for next spring. Africa-EU cooperation is offering new opportunity for strengthening our relationship by the 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development. This paramount United Nations roadmap highlights universal access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy by 2030 and climate action. It implies SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals number 7, but number 13. Once more, the European language is very clear and takes note of the growing acknowledgement in the global arena of the role of the sustainable energy for improved economic and social development, decoupled for environmentally and emissions. Energy is also essential for achieving all the other SDGs, including eradicating extreme poverty, more inclusive growth, gender equality, and sustainable land use. So we are totally aware that we are confronted with a challenge which is very encompassing and includes so many improvements for all the developing countries of the world. Participants to this course, you, once returning in their respective countries and local economies, have the opportunity to keep contributing to this common endeavor. Being aware that all the SDGs matter and are interlinked, they will certainly work for the improvement of a crucial element of sustainable development. At the same time, Africa's energy sector and the downstream green economy could present vast business and investment opportunities, thus boosting growth and jobs on both the African and the European continent. I'm confident that all the academic and business interlocutors we will meet at this ATC will represent an important reference not only for their knowledge and technical capabilities, but also for the direct experience of responsible business conduct according to the OECD business guidelines as reviewed the last time in 2011 in Paris. Respecting integrity standards, corporate social responsibility, transparency, human rights, and several other dimensions are overarching elements to qualify the reputation of a productive system. The Italian academic institution and the Polytechnic of Milan embody and promote this approach as rooted in our society. It is not a coincidence that energy sector companies in Italy are performing very well in environmental systems, also among European competitors, and workplace safety. At the same time, they have adopted effective policy for fighting corruption. Be sure that in partnering with these various actors in Italy, you will enjoy some of the best sustainability counterparts at the world level. I'm sorry again for having been late to this meeting and having skipped the previous presentation, but there was no train available before that. This is something which recalls me the question between supply and demand. We have created so many offerings in connecting trains between Bologna and Milan that people are mushrooming in asking new places on the train. Something similar can apply to the energy sector. If you have new supply, you have new opportunity, you will be confronted with a vast demand. This is a scenario we have to be prepared for. Thank you very much and enjoy your course at the Polytechnic.